All right, I'm Alex, manager at Skybox Collectibles, and I am here with John, also known as John Basketball Card Guy. And we have a fun video today. We really wanted to spend some time to talk about how to start your collection and how to grow getting into collecting, sports cards specifically. And we thought it'd be interesting to kind of look at a perspective from someone who managed a card store and someone who's a collector and been a collector for a long time. And John has been collecting a long time, and he's a great customer and friend of the store, so I thought I'd have him on.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
So I figured we'd get into the first one. So my first tip is really just kind of narrowing down the sports that you want to collect. So there's a lot out there now between non-sport, UFC, WWE, and then the four major sports plus soccer. So there's a lot. So for me, I think you should stick to one or three. That way you kind of keep the interest in those. It also gets very expensive to probably collect multiple sports, and also you just become more knowledgeable about those few if you pick 1 to 3. So
totally.
That'd be my first tip.
I can echo that for sure. I've picked one myself, obviously, thanks to the name. Really focusing around basketball is my main. I go even deeper than that. I pick out specific players in the sport that I really like, and I think as someone starting out, we hear the term prospecting a lot. That's where someone goes and they pick up rookies of a player that they think is going to be really good in the future. That's a gamble, and I think in the beginning when you're starting out, if you're just getting into collecting, go with what you know. Stick with the players that you either like watching or that you feel are already good. I tend to avoid a lot of the rookies from the rookie year up until like the playoffs hit in basketball.
Until you kind of know what they look like, instead of spending a lot on a guy that's kind of unknown.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of upside, and that's what people love that. Buy a card for $1 and then it's worth $10 at the end of the year. It's pretty exciting, but at the same time, it's like I'm risk adverse.
He'll wait to see what's going on. My second point is really to have a budget. Whether it's a weekly budget or a monthly budget, and I would say that budget should go toward boxes to start, because I do think there's a lot of excitement that goes behind opening packs, and then you should also be buying singles as well. So I think there should be a combination of the two. There obviously is more risk with buying boxes, but you can also hit the big card every now and again. So it's it's fun for a new collector to do that.
Risk and reward, both hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
I'm a singles guy. Like, I will absolutely go after just the specific cards I want, and so that would be my advice generally, is to really focus in on those things that you're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of. So focusing in on a particular player, a particular card, you know exactly what you're getting. You don't have as much reward unless that player, progresses over time and their value goes up. It isn't like you're going to buy a $5 card and magically it ends up being a $500 card that same second. But you know what you're getting, and that's a lot of what I do.
Yeah. And the third one is really when you're buying cards, to really explore different avenues. Don't just go on eBay. Don't just buy from retailers online. Come into your local hobby shop. Look through boxes. Go to card shows. I mean, there's going to be cards in all these places that you'll never see online, and that just kind of makes it really exciting. You also get to meet a lot of people that are in the hobby, and that's kind of one of the best part, is just meeting a lot of people and making friends through this.
Yeah, I think social part of this that's why any good hobby, right? Doesn't matter if it's cards or otherwise. You get involved with a hobby to be around people that are like-minded and that you enjoy being around. So I think that socialization is great, and it really comes from having a physical space like a card store like this or a show. For sure. I think too, like, if you're looking for something special, like a one of one or something like that, you're only going to find it in one place, and you don't know where that place is going to be. So a lot of that is that discovery. Could be in a box. You never know, unless you're searching through it. So.
Yeah. So another point, this is going to be my last one, this is kind of after you kind of started, but I think you should expect to be buying and selling cards. I think it's the expectation of just buying and never selling any cards. It's gonna get, your wallets better be pretty deep if you're gonna do that. So I do think that you have to kind of buy and sell as your collecting career goes along. So you should expect to do that and do that research. So
yeah, I think in the beginning, obviously, if you don't have a collection, it's going to be all buying at the very start. But I would 100% agree. I mean, the last 3 years, I made a pact with myself not to buy any cards that I couldn't afford from cards that I sold. So it's just basically reforming the collection I had by selling some off and then buying some new ones. And that's totally possible. And to the earlier point about budget, like, you could have a $10,000 a month budget or a $10 a month budget, and you can still get cards every month. You know, like we're standing by dollar boxes here. You know, like 10 cards for $5. That means 20 cards for $10. If all you had was $10 a month, you could still get 20 cards that mean something to you. So I think anybody can get involved in any of those ways.
For sure, for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think. I think John, you probably had one more thought.
Yeah,
This is important for the collector.
I think just enjoying your collection is a really big thing, and one of those ways to enjoy it is to display the collection. A lot of people know my collection from Instagram and stuff because I have big displays in my home, and you can see the stuff in showcases and out and about. Even if you have a 20 card collection and not, you know, a 200 card collection, 2,000 card collection, you can find interesting ways to either put the cards on stands, to have them on your desk, to have them accessible so that you can enjoy them every day. It's the greatest thing about this over investing in a stock or any of that kind of stuff. You have something physical that you can have an emotional connection to. And so I think displaying it, enjoying it every day is just so key.
Yeah, I totally agree. So there was a lot of overlap and agreeing there. But thank you, John, for coming down. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely.